Hello, good morning, class.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
We are fine, ma. Good morning, ma.
Good morning. Yes. Then the Amos Obonga. I want to see how many ten, yes. So can we start?
Yes, ma.
Yes, ma. We can start, ma.
Aye.
Can somebody hear me?
Yes, ma. We can hear you, ma.
Who is the
We
class
can start,
governor?
ma. My name is Elizabeth, ma.
Okay, so who is our Mary who?
I can see that the facilitator is logged out.
Yes, the network is bad. I even barely hear her say.
Yes, even on my gadget, it was her voice is shaking.
The network in her place is poor, not ours.
Yes. And I think she's around Federal House in here now. So why the network will be that poor? It seems like Bashu is here to resume from the Salah break. My friend Bashu,
The Salah
Salah continue back.
yes, da.
Oh, sorry, I'm okay now. I think I've come back. Hello, class.
Hello,
Hello,
good
ma.
morning, ma.
Yes.
Good morning, ma.
Sorry, it has been network. Oh, I have to switch over to another network. So sorry about that.
Okay, ma. You're welcome, ma.
So I said I want to hear where you people stopped with my colleague, so that I will know where we're starting today. Elizabeth Obonga. Hello.
Yes, ma.
Good morning. Can we start this class? Oh, wow. So, hello, can somebody talk so that we know whether we are together? Hello, class.
Hello, ma. Yes, we can hear you, ma.
Joseph Odu.
Yes, ma. Yes, ma. I can hear you, ma.
Ma, we stopped at pattern detection, ma.
Dende.
Yes,
You
ma. Good
said
morning, ma.
good
We stopped
morning.
at pattern detection.
Okay, pattern detection. Okay. So we are starting today. You can see my name is there. DP and Ugodu. That's my, you can see my screen, I hope.
We can see it, ma.
Yes, ma.
Yes,
Ma.
yes, that's my email address and my phone number there. I hope that's clear. So this is the course content: experimental and non-experimental research design, correlation research design, process of pattern detection. So these are, I believe these are the ones that were treated by my colleague.
Yes, ma.
Okay. Then my own part is this one: survey design with questionnaire, processing and displaying data, research methodology and practical. So I would like to tell you that this is a practical class. The aim is for you to be abreast of research, how to independent. You know that research is independent study. It's not a class study. They don't say ahead the whole class come, bring your topic, let us start, let us write chapter 1. It's independent. So you do it one-on-one, individually. So the aim of this course is for you to equip yourself of all that you will be needed in writing a good research, because at the end of this your program, before you round off, you will have to do is it thesis or project, as the case may be. So this is for you to get to know all of some of those things that you will be required to do in that your project. So if time permits, we may even go into practical demonstrations. We may even go into analysis, like showing you how to do some of those little things that you are going to do later in this your course. So without wasting time, I will start, but I want to know who the course rep is, even though I don't want to see everybody or hear everybody's name or greet everybody individually, but let me know that this is a class governor or class rep. Is it Dende Amos?
Good morning, ma.
Who is he in this bed?
Yes, ma.
Yes, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, you are the class governor.
Yes, ma. Good morning, ma.
Good morning. What a man can do. So all these men are there and they gave you. That's a good one. That's
Thank you,
good.
ma.
Okay. So as I'm going ahead, even though you are supposed to mute yourself, if I require you to answer me so that we know whether we're together, please do, so that we can
All right.
communicate better.
Okay, ma.
It's okay.
Noted, ma. Thank you, ma.
It's okay. So we'll go ahead. We'll start the learning objectives. At the end of this lesson, participants will be able to, one, to prepare a structured questionnaire. By the time I finish with you, you will be able to make your own questionnaire. When you are going to prepare your questionnaire, you're not supposed to go and ask anybody, please do this questionnaire, this thing for me. You are supposed to sit down in the comfort of your homes, in your offices, and do it. Your own is just to take it to your supervisor and say, please check what I have done. And I believe you are going to do a good work. So then the second one is to undertake data coding and spreadsheet preparation. When you go to the field with your questionnaire, you collect data. When you come back from the field, what do? You code it and you put it in a spreadsheet. So that one too, I'll teach you. So if you have any question, although if you have any questionnaire anywhere, keep it. The time I'll ask you to bring it up, you'll bring it to all of us who go through it and code it and do spreadsheet together. So that by the time you want to do your own, you will not go and run to one 500 level or 400 level student, your junior student, or your younger colleagues, your younger sisters or brothers. Please, uh, I want to do analysis. Can you help me prepare a spreadsheet? So by the time you do it, you prepare your spreadsheet, you will be able to carry on. You will be able to do your spreadsheet by yourself without any person guiding you again, because I will guide you here. So the next one, you'll be able to explain the different data collection methods. I don't know whether he touched it. You were my colleague Elizabeth. Did he touch anything about data collection?
Yes, ma.
Okay. So which aspect? Okay, maybe as we proceed, we will know, because there's no point in repeating what he has taught, what he has done. So if he has done this aspect of data collection, I may not bother myself. After all, it's not even part of my. I just wanted you to have like a full scale of whatever we are going to do in research. So that's why I just deemed it fit that I can bring this one up. Then articulate the different ways of result presentation. How do you present your result? You have gone to the field, you have done your questionnaire, you have gone to the field, you have collected data, you have come back and you have done your spreadsheet, you have done analysis, and then it's now for you to start writing your report, your results and presentation. So this is where so many students, if you do analysis for them, they'll say, ma, are you going to do an interpretation for me? For what now? They'll say, ma, just write chapter 4 and 5 for me. Anything I can pay you. I said, don't pay me. I am not to write for you. I am to guide you. So I am saying it because I know what I'm saying. Some of you will just go and contract this work to somebody else. You use AI, do any mago thing and give you. And then you will say you have graduated. It's not like that. So what I'm teaching you is what will take you. You are doing PGD. You still have a long way to go. You can still go and do masters. You can still go and do PhD. But when you have the fundamentals known now, like now, you equip yourself, it will take you to a long way. Anywhere you are going, you beat your hand in your chest and say, yes, I can do this, and you do it. There's nothing so strange, there is nothing too difficult in research that you cannot do. Some of you see it as the most difficult. Some students will say, I even want if they give me 20 more courses instead of doing that project. Is not difficult. So that is what I want you to know. Establish that in your mind, that this course is the simplest. It's just that it has formula. And when something has a formula, it doesn't give you wahala, because the formula will be there. What you are expected to write is what somebody will be expecting you to write. And when you write it, that's all. So you articulate the different ways of result presentation. How to present your results. Maybe tomorrow we'll be doing that. And then we'll see, we can take some practical and practical analysis using SPSS if time can permit. To root, do you want to talk? To root. If you don't want to talk, you can mute yourself. What? Hello? Are we together?
Yes, ma.
Ma.
Okay.
Yes,
She's
ma.
just joining. That's why.
Okay. Okay. So we are starting with survey design with questionnaire. We will define questionnaire as any written instrument that is used to collect quantitative and qualitative data, and the information or the data will be subjected to statistical analysis. It consists of questions, instructions, and then it makes provision for the answers to be given by the respondents. So nobody is going to ask you what is questionnaire. So it's just for you to know. I don't know whether any of us have seen questionnaire before.
Yes, ma. We used it during our undergraduate course.
Yeah. Yes, thank you for that. Nobody's going to ask you what is questionnaire, but it's good that you know that this is what it is. It's a written instrument that is used to collect data or information that will be subjected to analysis. And what is it made of? There are questions inside, there is instruction, because sometimes you have to instruct your respondents. You can tick, or you can provide, or elaborate. You can just give them instructions on what to do at each of the questions you have raised. And again, there is like an introduction that you normally write. Sometimes you normally start a questionnaire by having a first page as in form of a letter, trying to tell your reader, your respondent, that this is who I am. I am coming from so place, and I just want this information that I sought, and I want to use it for my research purpose, and is going to be confidential and all that. So this is questionnaire for you. So the questions can be administered personally by the researcher or through a trained enumerators. Sometimes if the work, or if the is a place where there is a language barrier, or the number of respondents are so many, there is a need for you to train some enumerators to help you to collect data, because you cannot be the only person. Just assuming that maybe you are going to take you are going to survey like 300 or 500 people, so, and you needed this thing like in 2 weeks. So I don't know what magic you can use so that you cannot divide yourself as you are asking, interviewing this person, you're interviewing another person, and like that. But if you employ enumerators that you trained, you don't just see somebody and say, please help me and administer this. You must have to pass them through training so that they will know what actually you want from the questionnaire. I hope that is clear. So a research questionnaire is typically a mix of close-ended and open-ended questions. So we we have types of questionnaire based on the way questions are asked. We have two types of questionnaire based on the way you ask questions. So one is open-ended questionnaire and the second one is closed-ended questionnaire. I hope we are together.
Yes, ma, we are together, ma.
Okay. So in open-ended question, in this type of questionnaire, the respondent is asked questions and is expected to provide his own answers as deemed correct. Like you ask somebody question, how old are you? You give a space, and then, but another good thing here is that another thing I need to emphasize here is that you need to guide the person, guide the person on what to write. Like when you say, how old are you? And you just write dash. The person may feel that, okay, you wanted to know my age, um, my age, maybe in months or like that. Maybe I'm 35 years, 7 months, you know. So but when you write age years, the person automatically knows that you are already, what you want is in years. You want to go and collect data on the quantity of soya bean that you buy in a month. It's good that there will be something that will guide the respondents, because if you leave it open, you can see somebody that will tell you in moodles. Moodles have different shapes and different sizes. Then another person can answer in basins, another person can answer in bags, other people can answer in kg. So, but when you say quantity, then at the end you can put kg so that the person knows that what you really wanted is to see the thing in kg. Hello. So is open-ended in the sense that you are leaving the respondent to give you the raw figure. You are not the one to dictate for the respondent that is 20 to 30 years, 30 to 40 years, 50 to 60 years, and all that. You allow the person to give you the raw figure. So, how many people do you have in your household, annual income? But remember to put in naira for the person. So, what are the advantages of this open-ended questionnaire? One is that it gets detailed information. Just like if you are asking about, maybe you go to an IDP camp and you ask them what are the problems they encounter in this IDP camp, So when you ask such question, the respondents will really tell you honestly what the problem is. If the real problem that is worrying him, he will tell you. So you get a detailed information. So, and again, it's ideal for elaborate analysis. Like if the person goes on to tell you all the things that are the problems, if you had used your own maybe close-ended that you gave them option, the person may not have all the time to tell you the real thing that is their problem. You understand? So it is ideal for elaborate analysis. And then the disadvantages is that um, irrelevant responses could be obtained, where you see somebody, when maybe you ask the person what is your problem in the IDP camp, and the person start telling you, my husband married a second wife, and the children are disturbing me. You know that the person, because the person feels that he can give you, maybe that is what is disturbing the person at that point in time. So he feels he like to pour. That is not where what you are is for the purpose of that liberty. They can give you more than what were irrelevant things that you may not need. But the good thing is that you can sieve it and get the ones you need. The responses must be coded before analysis. So if you are going to use it for analysis, you have to code it. I'll teach you. We'll do coding later. Then it's not easy to complete by the response. Some respondents find it difficult to start writing and filling. They prefer the one that you have already given them options. They will just tick. You understand? But because this one is open, you expect them to write or to explain. So it's not very easy one for the respondents. So, we'll look at close-ended questions. This is the type of questionnaire in which optional responses or answers are provided. Example, when you say the same give option of 20 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50, 51 to 60, as the case may be. So this one now, the respondent, if I was the one, I would just look at where my age range is. I would tick. So what are the advantages? One, it guarantees uniformity in responses. There is a uniformity because if it were open-ended, Mr. A can be telling you a different thing, Mr. B can be telling you another thing for the same for one question. But here, because you have already restricted them to the answer, there is uniformity. It can be processed directly without coding, and it's easy for respondents to answer. Just like we said, this one is just very easy. I don't need to write anything. I don't need to say anything. And then, respondents prefer it because even their confidentiality is more here, because if I just say 41 to 50, you will not know my actual age. You will just know that I am in that range. You understand? But if I am to write my age, which some of them may not tell you, or maybe it's annual income. Some of them don't like to disclose. But if you give them range, they can just give you the range. So it's easy for respondents to answer. Then the demerit is that sometimes the optional responses or the answers we provided may not be exhaustive. That's in the case of there may be an omission of vital information. You just know that as a human being, you are bound to make mistakes and to have errors. like that example I gave about IDP camps. I may, if I am using close-ended question, the problems that I assume they may have, I may list them. I may list them, and I say, okay, lack of water, lack of food, lack of healthcare, and all that. Although I normally make a provision for others, that in case what I've written, there are still other things you can still point out. But what if the major thing that disturbs them, the major problem that they have, I have not even touched it. I've not even written about it, you know. So, but we overcome that by saying, after you have listed the ones you think should be their problem, you normally put others for them to now, if they have other problems, they will now specify. But had it been, some of them may not even bother to go and be writing for you the one that is not there. They will just choose from any option you have given, which may, the main thing that we're looking for may be missing. So the disadvantage again is that the optional responses or answers provided may be mutually exclusive. That's what you are saying, is that they may be repetitive. There may be a repetition of what we have already talked about. Take for instance, when I go and ask somebody, what is your problem in this business you are doing? The person may say low patronage, or low price, or no trade. All of them is just like you are repeating. Or okay, if you are the one designing the close-ended questionnaire now, and you say low patronage, no no trade, low volume of trade, everything, all of these things is just like you are just saying one thing. Or you went to a farmer and you're asking him what is his problem, and you are the one to design it. You can say a lack of inputs, a lack of um, seed, lack of this, lack of that. By the time you are saying all this lack of, and you still say lack of finance, it's the finance that is just like you are just beating around the bush, because all of them is encompassed in finance. If the person has finance, why not? Why won't he have input? Why won't he have all those things that are needed for his farming? So some of these responses may appear that they are like close, they are repetition in the this thing. But maybe when we go over to, when we start doing it, you will see um what we are talking about. But here, let me pause and ask for questions and contributions. Hello, class.
Good morning, ma.
Yeah, good morning.
Ma, I wanted to ask, is it possible for one to use the two types of questionnaires in a research, or we have to choose one and go with it?
Wow, thank you. That is a good question. It shows that you are really following. Mm. Thank you, Ruth. Are we only 12? Why are we not many in this class? How many are we supposed to be?
Now, we have already gotten the actual number of students, but we used to be more than this. Sometimes we are up to 16.
Okay. So you people are not really many like that. Okay.
Yes, ma.
I was thinking you people would be like a master's class I finished yesterday, and there were so many. Okay, so I don't like teaching. What I'm asking is I don't like teaching few class. I want to teach when the class is full so that it will be a good representation of the class. Okay, thank you, Ruth, for the question. The answer is not far-fetched. There is no divide. There is no problem in using any of them. There is no problem in combining. There is no hard and fast rule. That's what I want to say. In using any of them, you can combine them. In fact, there are places that you must. In fact, in questionnaire, in your questionnaire, you must join the two. Like when you are asking somebody about marital status, you must give the person option. Are you married, single, this and that, gender, male or female? You must provide option. So likely what we do is that there is a mix of the two, open-ended and close-ended. So we can use it. That's why I took time to explain the advantages and disadvantages so that you know that even this one has advantage, even this one has disadvantage. There's no one that is, you can say, this is the one that is perfect for research. You can join them, mix them up anyhow you want. But the main thing is that you collect the data that you need to collect. Is that okay? Ruth, have I answered your question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you can mix it. You can mix it. There is no fast and hard rule on one that you didn't fit to use at a party. In fact, in a party, it's not even good to use one type for the whole of your question. No, it will just be a mix of the two. Okay. Oh, so we go to characteristics of a good questionnaire. A good questionnaire. What are the attributes that is expected of a questionnaire that is good? So one is that the words used must be clear and unambiguous. You must use clear words and unambiguous words. What do we mean by that? We mean that you should use simple languages that almost everybody will understand. The use of slogans is not allowed, especially in research, in questionnaire. We know that money, when you say money, when somebody, there are so many slogans or names for money. They can call it bar, is it not? Some people call it bar. Some people call it balari. Some people call it bullet. Some people call it different names. So if you are preparing your questionnaire and you want to ask about somebody's income, you don't go and ask the person how much bar you collect, how much bar you they get for 1 month. You know that kind of a thing. Or how much bullet. So many names. And I want some people to tell me some of the names that we give to money, as money is very important for our life.
Pepe.
Pepper. Yes, yes. So you want to ask somebody in a questionnaire about money and say how much pepper you have. You know that the person's mind will go to the real pepper. Now you say, what concern me and pepper again? How did this person know that I eat a lot of pepper? So the idea is that the meaning should be the same. Because if I come to maybe in Makurdi metropolis, what they used to know money is pepper or bullet. If I take that questionnaire to another place, though that place it may be another name, maybe bar is what they are calling the money there. So when you are saying bar and the money pepper, they may not know that it's the same thing. So don't use any slogan, don't use it, just simple languages that are clear. Moreover, you're having in mind that you may train some enumerators. So the enumerators will be your representative before your respondent. So what if your enumerator does not understand what you mean by all this pepper, bar, and bullets and all that? So your questionnaire should be very, very unambiguous, very clear, simple, and very clear. That's okay. So the second point is that multiple questions should not be combined in one question. That is, double-barrel questions should be avoided. Multiple questions, you're asking them um, two questions or three questions at the same time. Example, I'm going to IDP camp, and I want to get to know their problems, and I say, and I want to ask it in a question. I say, what are your problems here, and what do government or NGO do for you, and how, you know, and how can that assistance be improved? I don't know, how many questions have I asked?
Three, ma.
Yes, you have loaded so many questions in. So we want your questionnaire should be one question at a time. So even if you want to ask those questions, you can say, what are your problems? One. The next question, where do you get assistance from, or what are government doing for you? Two. Then how can this government assistance be improved? Three. Differently, not that you ask one question, because if you load three questions in one, what do you want the person to answer you? The person will start from where to answer you, and then it will be very, very complicated. So a good questionnaire again considers the competence of the respondent to answer the question. So when you are preparing questionnaire, you have your respondents in mind. Who are my respondents? When you have them in mind, you know that this is their ability, this is how far or the level of question I can ask them. It's just like you are asking a gate man a question that you are supposed to ask the MD of a company. You are asking him about the staffing strength, the volume of sales. A gate man, we know all that, the organizational structure, or their performance in the year and all that. Come on. The gate man can only tell you that Oga is inside. I open gate for him. They are having meeting, or all that. Anything like simple. But when you are going in details of the company, it should be for the man in charge. So likewise, when you are preparing questionnaire, you should have in mind who your respondents will be, so that you will know whether they can answer the question, or you break it down. Even if it is a complex question, you can break it down to the level that they can answer it. So number 4 is that it solicits only relevant information. It's only information that are relevant that you can ask for. Don't go and be getting information that you don't need. Don't make your questionnaire so bulky. Who are you impressing? It's just for you to get to analyze your specific objectives and provide results, and then conclusion and recommendation from that. So don't go and make your questionnaire too bulky. Let me pause for a story. It's just one of my experiences when we were doing one research like that. We went to one village. When you are going to Air Force Base, they produce rice there. They say, is it Mu village? Does anybody know the place?
Yes, ma.
Mu
Yes,
village.
Yes,
Jafet.
ma.
yes.
So we were sent, our chief sent us to go, and in fact he just said we should go and pre-test our questionnaire. And lo and behold, the questionnaire is 12 pages. Although it was a national assignment, this one for the whole of the country, and we had to do for the North Central. So when we went there, we were lucky we met one man. He has a very good house, and then we sat and we started interviewing the man. So the interview was going on. The man was just flowing with us because the interview was the questionnaire. I said it's 12 pages, and it's not the only that it's 12 pages. It involves you recalling back all the things you did about rice farming in 3 years back. We'll like ask you about this year, ask you about last year, ask you about 2 years back, then 3 years back. So the man was answering us, until the point he got tired, he became tired. We thought the man want to ease himself inside. So we were just outside waiting. We have not gone far. We are like page 6 or 7. We were sitting, and the man didn't come out. So we now asked when the daughter came out, we said, where is daddy now? Daddy, we have been waiting for him. He said, daddy is sleeping. So that daddy has started sleeping. So he became tired and went in and started sleeping his still. While we were there thinking that he's coming back to finish our question. So what am I trying to tell us is that don't make your respondent to sleep on top of your questionnaire because you are trying to ask so many things. Just get the information that you will be needed for your analysis. Don't go and be trying to make it bulky, as if making it bulky will add to. Sorry, I don't know what happened. Okay, so see, I have to share again. So let's all be fast a bit, I beg. Sorry, it's like I'm wasting too much time. The questions are arranged sequentially. What we do in questionnaire is, when you are preparing questionnaire, is that your specific objective 1 should be your section A. Your specific objective 2 should be your section B. Specific objective 3 should be your section C, in that order, so that you'll be sure that you have covered everything that will be needed for that specific objective. Sometimes you see people, they want to do questionnaire, they will lump everything together. It's not acceptable for you to do that, because by lumping them together, you may not know whether the data that can help you to achieve your objective 1 or 2 will be complete. But when you do it separate, you isolate them, you will now know, okay, can this one, all these questions I've asked under section A, would they be enough to address this specific objective A, objective 1? So that is why you have to do it section by section. And each of your specific objectives should have a section. I hope somebody has heard this. Then
Yes, ma'am.
again, Okay, simple questions are asked before the difficult one. When you are preparing questionnaire, you don't just come and start. You want to go to IDP camp to ask about their problems or their trauma management. You come and ask them. The first question you are asking the person is how are you managing trauma? How is trauma this and that? You start from the preliminaries. You can ask the person's age, sex, this, marital status, and like that, and you are coming down to the real thing. So the simple questions are asked before the difficult ones. So again, the last point there is that leading questions are not asked. A leading question is a question that gives the respondents an idea of what is expected to answer. Who can give me an example of a leading question? Precious Okpe.
Good morning, ma'am.
Dende, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think leading question talks about, so one of the examples of leading questions is, I remember while we were in secondary school, someone was making a research on how the medical care we receive. And the person was like, have we ever received any medical care? Then the next question after that particular one is just required yes or no. Which one? I think that's what we're talking about. Then we are now asked
Okay,
to write down.
good attempt, Dende, Amos. Who wants to try? If it were physical class, I normally give 10 marks, 15 marks for this.
Good morning, ma'am.
Precious.
So, yes, ma'am. A leading question, for instance, using the question, what you said about trauma, is asking somebody, are you traumatized? You ask questions that lead to the person telling you themselves if they are traumatized, not being straight and saying, are you traumatized? Like just getting the objective directly from the person. You allow the person get to that point in indirect ways, not.
Okay. Okay. What do you
Hello,
say
ma.
about me? Yes. Is there any other person?
Yes, it's Odu Joseph, ma.
Joseph
What?
Odu.
Yes, the example of a leading question when you ask somebody, you enjoyed the event, didn't you?
Correct. I think I
Or,
prefer this.
or you say, how satisfied were you with our service?
Okay, that one is not a leading question again. No, Idu. There are two Odu. There are two things you have said there.
Yes.
When you're asking the person, did you enjoy the event?
Didn't you?
Didn't you? It's like you are leading the person to an answer. What if you are asked you, I hope you are married. I hope you are married. I want to believe you are married. What will you answer me, even if you are not married? That's the
Yes.
You
leading
want,
question. You know, you are already presuming the answer halfway for the person. I
yes,
hope
you're
your
instigating
children
the
are
person.
I hope your children are in school. What will I say? Even if they are not, what do you want me to say? You have led me already to say yes. Are you following?
Yes, ma.
It's different from when I say, it's different from when I ask you, are your children in school? You can say yes or no. But when I say, I hope, I believe, you understand? I hope your children are in school. It's not the same thing as, are your children in school? Are you seeing the two things?
Yes, ma.
And so don't ask questions that will lead somebody to an answer. I hope you are well entertained. What do you want the person to say? The person, you already told the person to say yes. Yes, yes. And even if he wants to, he will just shake head, yes. But even if the person is not well entertained, you can say, how was it? Were you entertained? Were you not entertained? You enjoy it? You are free. You are living it free. for the person to like say his mind. But when you are leading the person, you are preempting, showing the person the way to go. I hope you have done that. I hope you have finished reading this thing. I hope you are ready for your exam. What do you expect? They will say yes. So don't ask leading questions in questionnaire. So now I think okay, let's finish this slide. Relating analytical technique to question structure. Question structure is the open-ended and the closed-ended that we talked about. So the framing of questions in the instrument for data collection or the type of questionnaire would depend on the proposed tools of analysis for the study. For instance, it is wrong for a researcher who intends to use computer, although computer is the main thing now, to estimate any of the measures of central tendency, to run regression or correlation, to ask close-ended question. So what we are trying to say here is that the nature of the type of questionnaire, the structure of the questionnaire you are using will depend solely on the tool of analysis, the analytical tools that you will use. If, for instance, you want to do something like regression, it's good that you collect your data like age or annual income. It's good that you use open-ended, because you are going to use it to run analysis, further analysis, regression and correlation and all that, or deeper analysis, stronger analysis. But when you just want to just see the percentages and frequency, you may use close-ended. For the age, you are not using the age for any other thing, for any other analysis. It's just for you to enable the frequency of those that are 31 and above or 40 and above. Then you can use close-ended. You give them options to choose. So when you are doing analysis, you'll be mindful. When you are doing a questionnaire, you'll be mindful of what analytical tools you are going to use before you know the type of question, the way you will structure the question, whether it will be open-ended or close-ended. So responses from open-ended can be easily converted to close-ended. Very important. If you get something like age in open-ended, that's you got their raw age, you can easily convert it to close-ended. I don't know whether you are getting me. If I get the age, like I ask a question in open-ended and say, what is your age? And you wrote 25, another person 23, 20, like that. If I want to convert it in that grouping form, it will be easy for me using computer. But the reverse is not really easy. If you have already obtained it in that optional form, in that 20 to 30, 30 to 30, 40, and like that, if I got it like that, it's not easy to change it to a raw form again. Some of you that did the statistics, if you have to change it, you have to go and calculate their class midpoint. It will only give you an approximation of what the real value or the real age of that person will be. So attempt to convert close-ended questions responses, especially for quantitative data, results in the use of midpoints and interval, and this already introduces error. So what are we saying here? Before you know the type, what my advice to students is that if it's possible for you to collect that data in the raw form, please go ahead and collect it in the raw form, like age, like annual income, like household size, like farming experience, like whatever that you know that the farmer or the respondent can give you the real figure. Collect it in that raw form. It will be better than for you to collect it in the other form. Maybe when you want to do analysis, they will tell you where's your age. You are bringing age that is in a block form, age 20 to 30, 30 to 40. It doesn't make, you can't use it for further analysis. So that is the point I'm making. So if at any point in time you are doing your questionnaire and you can collect the data in a raw form, please go ahead and collect it. Because even if you collect it, you can easily convert it to that other form. But converting from the other form to the raw form is not always easy. Is there any question? Is there any question? Yes, then
Yes,
the
yes,
Amos.
please.
Yes.
What
What is your
my question, yes, good morning, ma'am, once again.
yes, thank
My
you.
my question is, what if administering questionnaire to someone that has no formal education and the person is writing him or herself? Like where I was writing my project, I wrote about cassava production as a strategy for employment generation and poverty reduction. I took it to some of the villages, the outskirts local government of Makodi, which is Modern Market, Bar, and the rest. When I went to Modern Market, I met someone that was supposed to attend to one of the questionnaire, and the person had no formal education. Is it proper for someone to ask to interview them to input the answers yourself?
Okay, thank you. So if I got your question well, you're asking whether if you have your questionnaire, you can whether you can interview somebody that is not educated, or how, whether you can get information that
Yes,
you need.
yes. Interview someone that is not educated, then write the answers to the questionnaire yourself.
Yes.
Because the person
Okay.
will not be able to.
Okay. So what you are saying is that if you are into research, you know that although I don't know whether I was the one that is master students, I thought for you to be a researcher, you must be patient. That's one. If you are going to the field, you don't expect, even as we are talking here, we are not trying to say that everybody that will be your respondents must be literate. That is a wrong assumption. They mustn't be literate. But it's you now. That's why I was talking about enumerators. You have to be one-on-one. Ask what if they answer you question, you write it down. If they answer, in fact, majority of the work we do is not for people that are literate. Majority of our respondents, they're always illiterate. You can't give them questionnaire and come back and say, I will come back in the evening and collect it. From where now? Well, how are they going to go about the question? But it's you now. It becomes as if it's an interview. Then if you ask the question, you answer. There are some things that you may not even need to ask question, that you can see by yourself. Like if you're asking them how old are they? I asked one man how old he was then. He told me that he's over 40. But the man is very old, like close to 70 years. So as I ask that, will I go and write 40? I already know that the man doesn't really know his age, really. I need to just step in and use uh, my own initiative, and then provide the person's age. So likewise, other things that you may just see and then you'll be able to record by yourself. So we are not saying that as you are going to the field, or every person you are going to meet must be illiterate, must be literate. That's why I was talking about, you heard me when I was saying about enumerators. So enumerators will now help you. Sometimes it will even be like me now, if I'm to conduct any research in interior village in Benue or in Tivland, how will I speak to them? I can't. Language barrier. So I will need somebody that will be interpreting. The person will interpret. I will ask the person the question. The person will interpret to the respondent. The respondent will give the answer. The interpreter will tell me the answer. I'll write. So it's as difficult as that. So have I
Thank
answered
you
your
so much.
question?
Yes, ma. Thank you so much.
Uh-huh. But the idea I was talking about, that was the other time I was saying you should have your respondents in mind, like the kind of question you are going to, because you know that when you go to the field, the respondent may not be able to know some of these big grammar. So you have already made it simple, even for a numerator, even for yourself, that when you want to break it down to the interpreter, you will know that this is how you are going to break it down, and then so that interpreter too will even know what you are saying. So that is why I said you must know your respondents before even preparing the questionnaire, so that you know what they are capable of, what they can understand, what they can fathom. Don't go and give big grammar to somebody that has no formal education, and then when you get there, to break the grammar will be problem. So that is the point. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, ma. Thank you so much, ma.
Thank you. So contents of a good questionnaire should contain 3 categories of information. First is the administrative information. Administrative information, where you talk about the questionnaire code, the number, the place of interview, the dates of interview, the name of a numerator. This one, you at your level, if you are doing your research, you may not really have all this. But when you have, like that type I was telling you about, that was a national project, we needed to know the place of. In fact, there are some questionnaire you need to collect. You have to use a GPS to locate the place. There are questionnaire that you need to write the name of the enumerator or the name of the respondent, because the time you may need to go and revisit the respondents again with another questionnaire. Just like, let me see, if we are having an intervention, for instance, and we brought intervention for rice farmers, and we shared inputs to them. It's good that we know their names, we know their location, we know everything about them, so that by the time, maybe in 2 years' time, we can go to assess what have our intervention done to them. Has it improved their life? Has it changed anything in their livelihood and all that? So we still need to go and get to that same person. It's not good that you want to do the second edition and you are going to a fresh person, or somebody that did not partake in the intervention, and start asking the person, how far, what did our intervention do to you, what's life, has it changed your life and all that. No. So that's why in advanced research, you need all this administrative information, like the code. Each of the questionnaire will have a code for sorting or for matching, when you want to match what the person was having before the onset of the intervention, and after the onset, we'll match the 2 questionnaire, the before and after, to see what impact our intervention has done or has made on him or her. So this administrative information, then information on respondents profile or social. Sometimes when we are doing when we are going to the field, or we are doing some study, the socioeconomic characteristics may not even be in our objective. I hope somebody is hearing me. It may not be in our objective, because majorly some people's objective 1 is to describe the socioeconomic characteristics of the respondent. So sometimes the is not in our objective. So we will normally, even if it's not in your objective, like when I was doing my PhD, I don't have anything like socioeconomic characteristics in my specific objective, but I still went ahead and collected data on uh, socioeconomic characteristics. It's good for you to know their background, their age, their income, their household size, and all that, their marital status. That one is the second content. And then the third one is information on important variable. The one I told you about that is vital part of the research, helping you to answer the research questions and hypotheses. Questions which solicit responses to address the specific objectives and then ask under each of the subtitles, just like I told you earlier, each of the subtitle now will have the specific objective for you to be sure that you have covered all that you needed to cover to get the data you need for each of the specific objective. Is there any question? Is there any question? So I think from here, nobody will be in doubt of what a questionnaire is all about and how to prepare a good questionnaire. If you have any question concerning questionnaire, please tell me. Hello, hello. Can I go
I
ahead?
Yes, ma. You can go ahead, ma.
Okay, so everything is clear.
Yes, ma.
Okay. So you can now prepare your own questionnaire without asking anybody anything. Is that what it means? You are only going to review literature. Literature will be guiding you on what to write. But for what to write, you already know what to write, right? That's what I want to hear. They are not answering me. Hello,
I'm
hello. Yes, Elizabeth. We can continue, right?
yes, ma.
Okay, so we go to method of data collection. I don't know the parts that he did, but I'll just run through some and then um, we will see where we can reach today. So decisions in any field of human endeavor requires extensive data and information flow. Sources of data are many and varied. Such data some data could be generated by direct observation by the researcher. It could be collected from other individuals or organizations. Data may be collected from published books, journals, technical reports, as well as unpublished documents such as theses, public and private agency files. Based on sources, there are two types of data. Based on what? Sources. You can see there are so many ways to classify data, but what you should know is the criteria by which we are classifying. Here we are talking about the source. Based on the source, we have two types: secondary data and primary data. Secondary data refer to published or unpublished data generated by another investigator organization, which are later employed by another researcher in analysis. They are collected by someone other than the user and are already available. Among the sources of secondary data include journals, book of abstracts, organizational publications such as publications of UNESCO, FAO, WHO, NBS, National Bureau of Statistics, CBN, Central Bank of Nigeria, census figure of the country, government bulletins and gazettes. What am I trying to say? We are trying to see the types of data we have, but this one is based on the source. So when you are using a data that someone else has collected, you are not the first person to collect that data. It becomes a secondary data, right? Because somebody else has used it. You are using it again. Just like when you go to FAO database, FAO stats, you can get some data that you can use maybe for when you are talking about GDP of the country, imports and exports, exchange rate, inflation, all those data has been compiled. National Bureau of Statistics has been helping us to give us all some of this data. So, but you know that is not you are not the person that got the data. You are just using it, and then you should know that there may be errors. They may not be as first-hand information as the one you you got yourself. So, but that doesn't mean that we don't use it for analysis. It's very good that we use it. There was a time in this university where when we had a center, they call it CEFAS, Centers for Food and Agricultural Strategy, something. So that center was they were into collecting data, market data for that matter. They will go weekly to different markets in Makodi town, and then they collect data of prices of foodstuff, and then come and key it in. Though that time they were not even having computer. When they got a computer, it wasn't long. Another vice chancellor came and said they are just wasting time and they are not doing any tangible thing. What is collecting data? You understand? So you have to scrap it. And that time they will collect prices of foodstuff. They will even go to radio. They were working with Radio Benue then. They will broadcast the prices on the air, so that even if you are in the comfort of your home, you tune in, you can know that rice in mudu of rice in North Bank market is 1.5. That if it's a wadata is a 1.2, like that, so that you can make your informed decision. That if you are going to buy, you know where is cheap and you go and buy. And this is what somebody woke up and said those people are not doing anything without knowing, because we don't value data. And this thing, by now they should have had a bank of data that some of you can just walk in, maybe give them a token and then collect all the secondary data they have piled, and you use it for a meaningful analysis that can even help the state and help this country. But that is where we are. We don't value data. And then we rely on FAO will be telling you about our country and other agencies. But what are we telling ourselves about ourselves? So that is where we are. Can collect secondary data. So what are the uses for explorative purposes? To explore, for validation of primary data. Maybe you have already collected primary data, you want to confirm, you want to validate, you want to check the accuracy of your primary data. Is it in line? Is it lining up? Or is it in agreement? Or is it in disagreement? I say independent study. You can use it to do independent study and graduate. You mustn't go to the field with questionnaire. You can just collect secondary data and then run your analysis. You mustn't always go to the field to collect your primary data. Assessment of options, you can use it for that again. So advantages: it saves time that we have been used to design, administer, and collate questionnaire. Is it not true? It's true, because you don't spend time going to design questionnaire, going to pilot test the questionnaire, going to check for the validity and reliability, and before you administer it and collate it and all that. This one, you just, these days that internet is everywhere, in the comfort of your room, you can get all the data you need. It is less expensive to collect compared to primary data. You can bear with me that is less expensive. We didn't talk about primary data. Sorry, that could be an omission. So I sorry, there's a mix up in the slide. But primary data is here. Primary data are first-hand data collected by the investigator in the course of the research. Is synonymous with survey data. For example, data collected from a group of farmers using questionnaire on their income during last cropping season. So the one you go to collect by yourself, using different instruments, you can use questionnaire to collect it. It becomes the primary data because you are the first person, the first hand data. You are the first person that is originating that data. So um, there are 4 methods of collecting that data. It could be by personal interview, could be by telephone interview, it could be by mail. Personal interview could be this one we are talking about, a questionnaire. Telephone interview, you can place somebody on a call and be interviewing the person and be getting your data. You can the example of that telephone, there was a time I was doing a survey and I needed to collect data every week, every market, every week. Now that's markets in Benue is every week, Abi. So I needed to get the prices of that the commodity every week. So instead of me going all the markets in Benue that I was sampling then to see the price or to know the price, I had contact persons. So I'll just place call by the middle of the market, maybe in the afternoon like that. I'll just call, how much is a bag today? How much is a mudu today? And they will tell me and I'll just record. Next week I'll call again. So that saved me a lot that time. Or it can be mailed. I can package the questionnaire and send to somebody in Jos. That was how one of my colleagues did during his PhD. Is one of his study area is in Jos, so he just packaged it and sent to somebody that he knows in Jos. The person now helped him to collect data, so it can be mailed. Or these days that we're on internet, we can put it on somewhere on the general email platforms, people's email platform, so that once you open your email, you will fill it for us. It becomes a way of collecting first-hand data, which is primary data. Sometimes it could be by observation. I can go and observe. Example of people that do lab, or these people in agronomy, or people in animal science. They will give feed and observe the growth of chicken, for instance, or they will plant something and they observe, or they'll go to lab and you see the reagents. What has this one? If I put this one, how does it react? Like that, they will collect their primary data. So we're coming to have um, we are coming in to have a detailed discussion about the methods to collect primary data. But I don't know whether we have any question.
Hello, ma.
Can you
Good morning, ma.
hear me? Do you have any question? I want somebody to ask question. Yes.
Yes, ma. I have a question. Morning, ma.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah.
Yes, my question is, when you collect secondary data, for your research, are the secondary datas tag as review because somebody has worked on it? A research has been carried using the data. That is why you are able to lay hand on it. So when you get the secondary data, which are tagged here as secondary data, are they a review, or they could be tagged your own data? You refer them as your data.
Wait, are you Ruth? Okay, you are Japhet.
No. Yes, ma.
Japhet Doga.
Yes, ma.
Your question is, if I want to do research and I was able to lay hand on secondary data, will I call my work a review work? Is that what you're asking? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Maybe he has been logged out. He will join us again.
Okay.
No,
Yes,
I am
ma'am.
not logged out.
I said, from my own
Yes, ma.
understanding of your question, you said, if I want to do research and I end up using secondary data, will I assume that my work is a review work or original work or something? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Okay. What makes it a review work? I like your question, so that you know whether it will be an inferior work or a
Yes.
good work. Uh, understand, it's a good work, review work. When you
It's
are
okay.
reviewing what maybe other people's research. If you are, unless you are reviewing what other people have already done, like other research that has been carried out by maybe Odu, Obanga, Bashiri, and all that, all the works they have done, then you say, let me review their work. But because you use secondary data, it does not make it less than a research, because you did not use primary. So the both are considered normal research,
Valid.
not
Okay.
review. Uh, it has
All right.
not
Thank you, ma.
validated the accuracy. The only thing is that you don't get secondary data. You get secondary data from a reputable source. Make sure that it's from a reputable source. Don't go and because of course they will ask you, or you will write it where you got the data from. It must be from a reputable source. So if the source is not reputable, that's where you have problem. But once it's
It's
a
all right.
reputable source, like all those ones I listed, you don't have any problem. And nobody will look down on your work because it's a secondary data. In fact, it's even secondary data that we use for planning and for predicting the economy. Because sometimes it's the macro economics that will help you to now see how inflation is affecting imports, or is affecting our GDP. That one, you don't have option than to use secondary data, and is very well recognized. Is that okay?
It's okay, ma. Thank you.
Okay. Is there any other question? Is there any other question? Do we have any other question, or should I go ahead?
Go ahead, ma.
Okay. Okay. So we are looking at another way to classify data, because we have classified the first one using the we have classified the first one using sorry,
The
we have
source.
classified using the
Using the
source.
source.
Yes, we have classified it using the source. So um sorry, I'm trying to see. So this time we want to use another criteria to classify data using time perspective. Using time, as in time is what is our criteria for the classification. So data can be classified into cross-sectional data, time series data, and panel or longitudinal data. So in cross-sectional data, data are collected from a cross-section of people at a particular time. That is, observations are made on individual units at a point in time. Okay, so we're used to that, where you say data on farm income for a set of rural families. The units of collection may be individuals, families, agencies, region, or country. It is often referred to as primary data. So in cross-sectional data, let me give you a typical one that you will not forget. If I want to carry out my study, okay, and my study is on gender. Let me use gender. Okay, so let me use another thing. Let me use these IDP camps we are talking about. So my study is on the internally displaced persons, and I want to go and collect data. This data I want to collect, I am going to collect the same data from all of them that are in IDP camp at the same time. What I mean at the same time, because time is what is the essence here. But I'm not trying to say that I'll collect all of them in one day, or maybe at the same hour, maybe in 1 minute, I'll collect all of them, or maybe in in today I must collect. But what I'm saying is at a particular point in time. Maybe if there are many, I may not finish it in 1 day or 2 days or 1 week, but I am collecting it at a time, a particular time. I am not collecting people data today, then I will say I will not go again, I will not collect until maybe after 3 months or 4 months. I intend to collect all of them at the same time. But if time do not permit me to collect all of them today, then I'll just collect it, but it is at a particular time. If I want to do, and let me give you on this one, maybe this one will be clearer. I came to class and I want to see how your how your um your IQ or your performance varies with your age. How to know whether there is a correlation between your age, the age of the students in PGD class, and their performance in academics. So what I do is that I'll bring the questionnaire, I'll share to all of you at the same time. To all fill it and give me. That is cross-sectional. It's from cross-section of people, but it's as a one particular point in time. I don't know whether I have made a point.
Yes, ma.
Because if you are your respondents are IDP camp, and you go to IDP camp in Ichua today and collect, maybe you didn't finish, tomorrow you go, next tomorrow you do. Some people may say it's no longer cross-sectional, it's cross-sectional. It's more almost at the same time. It's just that you cannot You cannot tell the sun to stand still like Joshua did in the Bible, so that you do it one day, and then it mustn't be one day. So, but the fact that you collected them over 1 week does not mean that it's over a time. It's at the same time. It's meant to be at the same time. It's just that you couldn't finish it at the same time. I don't know whether I have been able. I'm trying to tell you that this one is collected at a time, at a particular time, but from different individuals at a time. That's concessional. Is that okay?
Yes, ma.
Okay. So when we now talk about time series, I know why I was stressing that concessional, because I don't want you to misunderstand it with time series. Time series refers to data generated by having observations over a period of time, like monthly, like quarterly, like annual data on production or sales. Time series data is usually considered as secondary. Is usually, not that all the time they are secondary. So what are we saying? Like that one I was telling you that one center was collecting in Uniagri, the Cephas. They do it every week, weekly collection of data. That is time series. So when you come to their charts, they have different weeks. Like in a year, we have 54 weeks, right? So they have 54 weeks for this year. They will have 54 weeks for another year. So they have it filled with prices of agricultural commodities that are being sold in Benue. So that makes it time series. But I want to ask you now, so that we'll know your level of understanding of this. Okay, let's finish. Panel data has the characteristic feature of both cross-sectional and time series. Here, data can be collected from a cross-section of people over time. Okay, like that example I gave about when I was doing research, that I normally um go to, instead of me traveling to different markets, I normally make call and they'll give me the data that I need, or the prices that I need. I was working on the prices of soybean. So each week like this, the market days of those markets, I'll have somebody, the contact person, I'll call, please, what's the situation today? Tells me the price of bag, the price of mudu, the price of everything, I record. So this my own now, that one that I was calling weekly, what can you call it? Do you call it time series or cross-sectional?
It is time series
Time series. Why do you say it's time series?
because you're getting this information not to a section of person. Intervally, you gather the information from different market days it involves different persons, not particularly that you may be communicating that particular person who gives that information, but you're not dealing directly with those persons who are doing the buying and selling at an interval base.
Okay, don't you think that those people I call can be my respondents?
Okay, they may be your respondent, but
Okay, you
the
are correct in your answer. You are correct in your answer, because the idea was not to interview a person, but the idea was to see the performance of the prices, or how the prices fluctuate weekly or monthly, as the case may be. So you are correct by saying that is a time series data. I want to know what the time is, what the price is, how they fluctuate with time. So that the velocity of the price. So that is a good one. But if I know, okay, I've not finished my question. And then the question, another question is that data that was time series, should I say is primary or should I say is secondary data?
It's secondary data, ma.
It's primary.
Precious. Huh?
Ma,
Yes,
you said
precious.
from your explanation, you said you usually call those people to help you find out the prices. You don't do it directly.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's
So
secondary because
so
they are the ones
is that
collecting the
what
data
makes
for you.
Okay,
okay?
okay.
Is that
For me,
that is
it's
what is
primary.
making it secondary? Okay.
My for
Japheth,
me, it's primary.
yes,
Yes,
it's
it's
primary.
primary. It's primary. Okay, it's primary in the sense that the person getting this information is getting it at the source.
Yes,
So
it's for source. I
there's
am the
no
one
that.
getting the information. That guy
Yes.
is just like I don't know how you see it, precious, because even if I am going there, I will still ask somebody what is the price. So does it make it secondary data? Okay, let me ask you, precious, now from what you have said. If I go to an IDP camp and I see somebody that doesn't speak English and I pass through him through an interpreter to get the information from that IDP person, does it mean that what do you say that the collected is it
It's
secondary?
primary, ma.
Because I
It's
didn't get.
primary because they are collecting the data
So
for
why did
you.
you say
Sorry,
that?
not
Eh?
secondary. They're collecting for you. It's not like they
Uh-huh.
collected and kept. They collected for
Yeah,
you.
because even if I am to travel there and then to go to those markets, I will still ask those people. They are the ones I will still ask, interview, and say, how much is this thing today? Because they are the key dealers. They will tell me again. So it's just as if I am there. It's just that I use another method of data collection that we're going to see maybe during break, after break or so. So that is it. So I will now ask you now, if I am to collect this data on IDP camp, on internally displaced person, and I collected the one for, I collect it monthly. So what can you call it? Is it what type of data will it be? That's every month I must go to IDP camp to collect data from the internally displaced persons. Maybe if I finish it in 1 week, then after another month, I'll still go and collect from the same person. That's cross section of people. But I am doing it regularly, like every month or every quarterly, every 3 months. So what can you call the data?
Time series data.
Time series.
Root, time series. Precious,
Yes,
time
ma.
series. Okay. Japheth.
Time series.
Okay. Sorry. Who are those that are here that have not talked? I want everybody to talk. Say your mind now, oh, because I am recording this thing and I will use it for your assessment. Tell me what is in your mind. I collect, because if you tell me, I will know how you understood what I've been saying. I'm going to IDP camp. I'll collect it from everybody in the IDP camp, but I'll do it regularly, like every month. So what do I call the data that I collected?
Okay, ma. It's panel.
Say my
Uh,
panel data.
panel
Ah,
data.
Panel data.
Yeah.
so if you people did not answer this, I will know that everything that we have been talking about is
Panel is
it did
panel.
not go down at all. So it's panel when you have a
Yes.
cross session and then it's still
Yes.
over time, regular, like if you do it tomorrow, today, maybe next month, I'll still go and collect from a cross section, maybe the same group of people, and there is something I'm aiming at, or there is an information that I'm looking at. So I will see to know how this information varies across them and over time. So it should be panel data. I hope that's
Hello,
clear.
ma. It's panel data. Oh, please, ma. I took permission from
Yes.
the class rep. I told her that my heart is heavy now, so you should not use it. At least I've contributed. Hello, ma. Please, ma. Me, I've
Okay, there are some people who have not heard their voice. Florence.
I took permission from the class rep. I just lost a
Florence.
friend, ma.
Hey, yeah, sorry about that. Florence Saluku. You have not talked. Say something. What is it? The data we have collected. If she can hear me. Florence.
In one of our class, Dr. Chalebe told us that some persons will on their data. It will appear as
And
if
be
they are in the
doing
class.
another thing. That's the way to catch them. Abito Stella. Abito Stella.
Yes,
They are
ma'am.
not there.
I'm here.
What can you say? What can you say about the data we're talking about?
Hello?
Yes. Speak to us. I'm collecting intervals of time. What? Sorry. What do you say is the nature of the data that I'm collecting? You type. Hello. Okay, Abito. So I think we can go for break and come back by 1, right?
Yes, ma.
Yes,
Okay.
ma.
It's okay. So when I come back, you first of all tell me what you have learned from me before we start thing. We are
It's all
finishing
right.
tomorrow.
It's all right.
So who is ending it?
I think
I can do
Who
that,
will
ma.
end it, please? Eh?
Ma, I think you're the one that's supposed to end it, ma.
No, it's
Okay.
Joseph. Joseph